Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you all?
We are all fine.
They are
Good.
fine.
Good. 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 Let us start. Uh, in our last class, we were discussing about dignity as one of the values of social work, and with that, we will start discussions on different other things associated to this dignity. That means challenges to human dignity. Absolutely, absolutely. We believe that human dignity is one of the core values. We, the social workers, we need to understand we must we must uh, we must understand the importance of human dignity, and we have very vividly discussed about dignity as one of the core values of professional social work. But we understand that there are different challenges to human dignity. That means there are certain challenges which becomes or which become really hindrances for human dignity. For example, poverty, unsystematic approach to development, caste system, patriarchy system, communalism, and many other things. One by one, we will definitely touch the things one by one. We will touch. Can somebody explain or give some examples of poverty as one of the challenges to human dignity? Poverty as challenges to human dignity. Can anyone explain? How can we say that poverty is a challenge to human dignity?
Let me try.
Sorry.
I want to try.
Please.
Poverty is a challenge to a human dignity in a scenario where you are sick and you don't have money to go to the hospital for treatment.
Yes.
You'll be at home and the worst can happen to you. And it will get to a point that you go and ask people that are not, you are not supposed to ask for such helps. And
Yeah.
by so doing, people will look down on you and say a whole lot of things to you, which might not be good, and it will bring your dignity down.
Yes. Absolutely. Poverty and its sister evils like unemployment, illiteracy, and other things which are associated with poverty, they are actually the important challenges to human dignity. Once there is poverty, once somebody is financially poor, that person cannot be able to access basic human facilities like housing facility, like education, basic primary health care also one cannot afford if he is poor or she is poor. Similarly, other basic human facilities, it becomes quite difficult for people living in extreme poverty. And people also, as you mentioned, people also look you down once somebody is poor. You see, there is United Nations or UN efforts under Millennium Development Goal (MDG). 8 goals were taken, and currently it is Sustainable Development Goal going on (SDG). In both the goals, be it Millennium Development Goal, be it Sustainable Development Goal, what we see is that the goal of our United Nations or global leader is to eradicate extreme poverty. That was the first goal, because without answering the problem of poverty, it is very difficult to address the challenges like other challenges within which we can discuss that the violation of human rights, the development of children, women, genetic care, or rural development, urban development, whatever development we're talking about, we're definitely talking about ensuring the issues of poverty. So once there will be poverty, human dignity will be at risk, at challenge. So this is one of the most important challenges of human dignity, that is poverty. Another is, in your book you will find blind approach to development, but I have mentioned that the word blind actually we do not use, because I have repeatedly told that here we are studying about dignity, and once we are we're talking about blind, that means we will go against, or it will go against the dignity of certain people who are visually impaired. So I use the word like violation of human rights through some unsystematic approach to development. For example, if there will be some development projects like mining, like construction of dams, construction of any buildings, so in the name of that development, people are also displaced, thrown away, without proper rehabilitation. Without giving them proper rehabilitation or compensation, people are thrown away, thrown away. So this is another very like a core area to understand. We are doing these projects like construction of dams, roads, buildings, any other thing, going for mining. All these things are being done in the name of development, because we want development. But in the name of development, what we are doing, we are violating human rights of many people. Many people. We're not giving them proper rehabilitation, compensation, and we move on with our development agenda. This also becomes a very important challenge, one of the important challenges for dignity of those people, and particularly in Indian context, we see who are those people who are being displaced. Particularly, it is seen that in tribal areas, mostly in tribal areas in India, I am talking about. You can give better example from your respective countries. Mostly in minings areas are mostly located in tribal areas, because tribal population is basically living and residing in dense forest areas, in hill stations, and these areas are filled up with natural resources. So once there will be mining, once there will be development projects like construction of dams and others, so certainly these people have to be displaced. But the concern is that without proper compensation on rehabilitation, one cannot push them out, throw them out. So that recently in India, we have also come up with legislations talking about compensation, talking about human rights. Because in India, after independence, when we drafted our own constitution for India, we have beautifully drafted about right to equality for every children, every person, not children, every person. Everybody is equal in the eyes of law. That's the right to equality and right to freedom. Everybody is free. So similarly, different fundamental rights, like 6 fundamental rights, have been given and guaranteed in the constitution, and special measures have been taken in the constitution of India to safeguard the rights and dignity of particularly people who are poor, who are economically, socially backward, who have been exploited for long period of time, particularly the casual caste and casual tribes. The tribes have been given special privileges in the Constitution of India, and according to this, schemes and programs are being also developed. But sometimes ineffective government mechanism machinery also leads to this kind of violation of human rights. And different legislations are there, like pesa act, like panchayati raj act. Under these acts the rights of certain people are being guaranteed, and it is the responsibility of the government to take care of these things. As professional social workers, we are also observing all those things and contributing to our level for the for safeguarding the rights of the people, displaced people, and by safeguarding their rights, we are directly and indirectly we are safeguarding their dignity. Am I okay? Another important challenges to another important. Somebody is telling something.
No.
Okay. Another important challenge is, for example, patriarchy. Patriarchy means male dominating society. Acha, what society do we have currently, or we have been seen, who is dominating, the men or women?
Men are
It's
most
men.
dominant.
Yes, man. Does this pattern of the social system affect the dignity of certain people, certain persons, and who are those people?
Yes, actually, it's dominating and it's affecting children so much.
Whom exactly it is affecting? Only children, or whom it is affecting?
It's
Patriarchy
affecting
affects
even the
women.
nation.
Affecting?
Women, children.
Women.
Okay. Any example you can give this patriarchy system is affecting women?
Okay, it's like if women are less advantaged and the man is okay. An example is in terms of provision of employment. If more
Hmm.
employment is provided to men than
Hmm.
women, I think most women will be economically challenged, and they will be unable to take care of children because most of the times children are more attracted to are more attached to women's care.
Okay, it is government system or government mechanism or certain rights we're talking about in government level. But when we look at the patriarchy system, that is also available in our own family, isn't it? Men members are given all the rights. Traditionally, if we see that our women, our girls were not allowed for schooling, isn't it? They didn't have the opportunity to get education properly. And you see, in our family pattern also, women may not have the power to decide about core happening in the family, day-to-day affairs of the family. Who is taking the important decisions? The men member are mostly taking decisions. Women are not allowed to take decisions. Right from the family to you come to the community. You come to the community. If there will be some community meeting, who are sitting in the first rows, in the first lines of the meeting? Who are those people? Is it the men or women?
Mostly the men.
Mostly the men. From the families to the community, men are dominating. Similarly, in government jobs, in private jobs, who are mostly we find it is it is the
Men.
men. It is men. So, Zianabo, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. If you want to speak something, unmute and speak. Otherwise, everyone, please mute. It's quite disturbing. So I mentioned you in a previous class about Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948 in 10th December. On 10th December, these issues were addressed. These issues were addressed, and they spoke about safeguarding the rights of disadvantaged people. Disadvantaged people means gender-based discrimination was globally seen, be it Ghana, be it European country, African country, Asian country, anywhere we see. Traditionally, we have seen that particularly women were suffering, are suffering, and we're trying that there will be equality in the society, and particular gender will not be facing the problems of inequality. So our girls were not allowed to go for schooling. They didn't have opportunity to go for jobs. Not only jobs, any other income generation activities, be it job or be it business or entrepreneurship, didn't have opportunity. So article 14, 15, and 16 of Indian Constitution under right to equality have safeguarded the rights of people irrespective of gender, caste, class, religion, and gender. I am focusing on. No gender is superior, no gender is inferior. Everybody is equal in the eyes of law. So also equal opportunity and equal status has been given and guaranteed in the Constitution of India under right to equality. Somehow we have answered this problem, because if the society is like this, ultimately the dignity of women, the dignity of girl child will be severely affected. And once women's dignity is affected, that means 50% population involved, we see 50% men and 50% women approximately. So 50% population is, the dignity of 50% population is badly affected. So this gender based discrimination, particularly patriarchal based society, is one of the important challenges to our dignity as human, as one of the core values of social work or human core values. Similarly, other problems like communalism, means in the name of religion, in the name of caste, violence, communal violence, riots. These are another important challenges. Another important challenge in India is caste system. I have mentioned about many times. I have told that extreme level of discrimination to certain people in the name of caste, as in other countries like Western countries, African countries, we have historically seen the pity of the sufferings of black color people in the name of color. So also in the name of caste, certain people, when being from birth, they were treated as untouchables, low caste people, so-called low caste people, and they didn't have dignity. They were uh, treated not even like as animals, worse than the animals. So these are the color system, color, black, white, so and so. This becomes an important challenge to human dignity. Caste system, communalism, violence, riots, patriarchal family, poverty. These are the important challenges to human dignity. To the social workers now, what the social workers should do? Social workers should prepare himself or herself or to ourselves to tactfully deal so that we will ensure the dignity of every person in the society. We will first of all, we have to develop our knowledge, skill, and ultimately attitude, and we have to inculcate the core values and ethics of social work so that we will rightfully or we will rightly answer to these important challenges of or important challenges which are becoming challenges for dignity in the society. So we need to develop our knowledge, skill, and attitude. Particularly ASK we call A for attitude, S for skills, and K for knowledge. Ask. And so also we have to prepare ourselves from within, from inner soul. We have to culture that practices of non-discrimination, not to not to be biased, and to work for eradication of poverty and other stumbling blocks for human violation, or those factors which are affecting human rights and which are becoming stumbling block for dignity of people. These are our important roles. Now, integrity as a value of social work. What is this integrity? Anybody can say?
Yeah, I think it's all about being honest and the upholding to moral principles in our everyday work.
Anyone else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Integrity and how this integrity is important as an important value of social work. No?
To me,
Yeah,
understand
please.
integrity as the self-respect one creates in public.
Okay. Integrity is something understood as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Understanding? I'm just typing. I'm just typing. Got it? Integrity is something, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. What is this and why this is required for professional social workers? Is it required for social workers? Integrity. Integrity means you as a social worker must be honest and must have strong moral principles that this I will never do, that I will do, this I will never do, and that this I will never do, this I will do. These are the moral principles based on values. Is that required for social workers to follow, to listen the voice of your inner calls? Is it required for social workers to follow integrity?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Anybody?
Yeah, it is good for
Please be louder, little louder. Someone is speaking but not audible properly.
integrity is good for social worker, for him or her not to compromise his work. Thank you.
Little louder, please. One example I am giving to you. One example. So it will be more clear to you, all of you. One professional social worker was working with children. What kind of children? Children with disabilities, mental disabilities. The children who were suffering from autism, low syndrome, like that. So once there was possibility of huge flood. So government wanted to evacuate, and the officers came to evacuate. There was flood-like situation. This professional social worker was asked by the officers, rescue officers, you please come with us because there is possibility that flood will severely affect this village, this area. Then this professional social worker demanded, I will go with you only when my children are also rescued and evacuated properly, safely. Then the officer said, no, 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 no. We cannot take them. They are so-called mm, mentally sick people. There is risk to take them. And so to say, their life is not so much important like that. And there is chance that they will feel afraid of seeing water all around. You leave them alone. You come, we'll rescue you. Your life will be saved. But this person denied. He said, I cannot leave my children abandoned. I cannot leave my children unwanted. I cannot go without them at all. And he remained there with the children. This he could do because he was believing in strong moral that this is my job, this is my work, this is not only my job, but moral responsibility to stand with the children in difficult time. In one side, these children are already in difficult situations because their mind is not so, they are mentally sick, suffering from autism, suffering from low syndrome, and I will go just to save my life without them is not something good for a professional like me. And he didn't go. Similarly, there are many social workers who have been working in dense forest areas, malaria prone areas, in dense forest, malaria prone areas, and they're working for the education of children. There is no proper schooling facilities. There is huge dropout, particularly among girl child. These areas are cut off from mainstream population, mainstream facilities. Even if you fall sick, it is quite difficult for you to get ambulance services. But people, social workers, are working there in those difficult areas. Do you think these professional social workers are working just for money, just for salary? Is it like that? Is it only the salary that motivates them to go to those difficult areas or
No,
something? Then what is another thing which is motivating to them? That is their moral values, because they want to spread the light of education in those dark areas. Dark means the darkness without education, I am mentioning. They're away from internet connectivity, they're away from even electricity. Even they fall sick, they cannot access to basic healthcare facilities. There are places in India, Ghana, in every country we can go and see such cut off areas. But social worker, even fair, even government will may not have gone. Government machinery may not have gone to those inaccessible areas. But our professional social workers are committed and going there, staying over there, working for promotion of agriculture, health, education, human rights of children, women, senior citizens, PWD. This is just because they believe in their moral values. They want to provide services in those cut off areas. This is what their integrity, strong integrity with them. And this integrity is actually is an identity. If you have strong integrity, you have shown strong integrity in your profession, and after some months, some year, it becomes your identity in the society. Can anyone give example how our integrity becomes our identity in the society? Can anybody give example? I mentioned integrity as our identity. How can we say that integrity becomes our identity? I said, if you are continuously practicing punctuality in your work, anytime you are going to conduct meeting in any community, you are always on time, punctual. Even nobody has reached the time, at 4 p.m. you want to have meeting. You are there, you have reached before time, even if nobody has reached. And continuously you are doing this the same thing, then your identity in the community becomes you are a punctual, isn't it?
Yes.
You are serious, you're punctual. So this is how you develop your identity. Similarly, by practicing other thing, you never speak lies. Whatever commitments you do, you commit to the people, you are performing without fail. That becomes your identity in the community. And do you believe without this identity you can move in the society, you can work as as a social worker in the society? We cannot. We need to develop those culture, and we have to develop these kind of identity in the society so that people will believe us. People will believe us. And this integrity as virtue, it is not only identity, it's not only identity, but it is the biggest virtue, that you are always guided by the principle of integrity. It is said that human values are foundations for any human society. The society is not made of with houses, roads, dams. The society is built upon the values that we believe in. What kind of values we believe in? If our foundations means values are very strong, then ultimately the society, the similar kind of society will be reflected. For example, in our behavior, people can understand what kind of personality we are. And behavior is basically the manifestation of our values and ethics. For example, if you believe in punctuality, if punctuality is your value, then your behavior will be to become punctual in every moment, be it is easy moment or difficult moment for you. So the behavior of human beings are basically guided with values and ethics. And the professionals, the social workers, have to exhibit strong value in terms of, yeah, your identity, and you believe in integrity as important virtue. So in professional social work, we are guided with different code of ethics. Code of ethics means these are the things we must do and these are the things we should not do. These are the code of ethics. In the beginning of my class, I had mentioned you that any profession, any discipline that claims to be a profession has followed or has to follow certain code of ethics. So we see important code of ethics as discussed by different philosophers, different social workers, and different professionals associations. NASW, National Association of Social Workers, in 1999, they have identified important code of ethics with 6 points, that is service, social and economic justice, dignity and worth of the persons of the people, important of human relationship, integrity and competence in practice. These are the important code of ethics as discussed by NASW, National Association of Social Workers, in the year 1999. So in this six, there is another important value is integrity as one of the important code of ethics. So you as social worker, me as social worker, we must exhibit that integrity. If we lose that integrity, ultimately we will lose the confidence of the people, and this will not the damage to your profession only, rather it will bring damages to the social work profession at large. For example, if some doctor in some hospital mistreat the patients, one patient for example is mistreated by a particular doctor by in a particular hospital, people will be afraid of going to that doctor or to the entire hospital. Hello, people will be, huh, Victoria madam,
Okay.
I am just asking, if some doctor has mistreated some patient, the community at large will be afraid of going to that particular doctor or to that hospital totally.
They will be afraid of going to that hospital in totality.
Yes, yes, that is what I am mentioning over here. The dignity, the integrity of a single professional, social worker, means the dignity, the integrity of social worker associated with that organization as a whole. You are working with an organization XYZ, you are going to community with your identity. Your identity is the professional identity which is associated with that organization, maybe government organization or private organization. If people find you simple, gentle, proactive, pro people, then they will think this is the identity, or your identity will become the identity of your entire office organization. So that I'm telling to be care, we need to take care of our integrity, because we as a social workers, we are dealing with human beings, we're not dealing with stones, when not dealing with stones, bricks, we are dealing with human beings. We need to be very much careful. We need to inculcate that practices of that culture of integrity, so that we will win the confidence of the people at large. Integrity can be personal, integrity can be social, integrity can be professional, can be professional. As I mentioned, that integrity is personal value. It is about coherence in one's principles or morals. Integrity helps predict one's behavior. Integrity helps predict one's behavior. That I mentioned, that in a community we are going, or you are working with single human, single person, you are working with group, you are working with the communities at large, community at large. So people have deeply observed you, My question is, once we are going to the community, do people observe us or not?
They do observe us.
They do observe, yes.
Yes, they do observe us. Means we are in, like in offices it is written now, you are under CCTV surveillances. So also we are in the surveillances of the community at large. People are observing us. How are we behaving? How are we talking? How are we serious about the issues of the community? Or we are just coming for time pass? Or we are coming just because we have project? Or really we are serious about people? People will observe us very minutely. If you are going to the community and in a meeting you have invited people for the meeting and you are busy in your telephone, you're in mobile phone, many times you are doing this, then people will know that it is your habit, you are that kind of person. So next time if some meeting is called, they will themselves, they will decide, oh, this is not serious meeting, because people come, they just start and they are busy in their own mobile phones, they're not seriously discussing with the people at grassroots. So I said integrity helps predict one's behavior. Mr. Pascal, please mute. So integrity helps to predict one's behavior. So we need to be very much careful, as it is our personal behavior, so also it becomes a social behavior. It is this set of human values that help groups or society to stay together in harmony. If the integrity is social, if the total society believes in peace, harmony, social justice, if this becomes the integrity of the society as a whole, that means the people will stay together in peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. Integrity at social level is about coherence between individual actions and behavior and the values of particular social group, social circle, or social institution like family and religion. So this can be, integrity can be shown at social level. So also in, it will be reflected in our professional behavior, in our profession, because integrity means morally good. We have to exhibit good conduct or right conduct. One example here I would like to cite: every professional, every person is having a different capacity, isn't it? Or everybody is having the same capacity or competence? Everybody is having different competence, different capacity. So also, as per your own ability, capacity, and moral competence, you take stand. This much I will do, this I will not allow to be done. Yesterday we were discussing that in some organizations we find the organization is open for social service, but that organization is actually into money making. You are working over there in some projects. Will you be also working for money making, or will be differently working? You will be working as per the integrity that you have. If you have a strong value and moral value that I will not do any malpractices, that means you will never allow this to happen in your own capacities and jurisdictions. That is the personal integrity. So I have given you different examples of personal and professional integrity, that how people, there are people who are very closely working with people with leprosy people. You see, one of the brightest example is from voluntary sector. We can cite Mother Teresa. Have you heard her name from India, Mother Teresa?
Yes, Mother Teresa.
How many of you have heard about her?
Yeah, I also heard
One.
about her.
Okay. What exactly she was committed for? She was actually committed. She worked tirelessly in India for serving, serving to leprosy patients. And you know, leprosy patients were thrown away from families, thrown away from communities. This disease was understood to be a curse. Curse. People were thinking, or people used to think that he or she suffered with leprosy because he or she has committed sins, like that. People were throwing away human beings because he or she or they are suffering from leprosy. So Mother Teresa rescued those people from roads, and she started homes for leprosy, or leprosy homes. She brought those people, rescued those people, and started treatment. So many people could be saved, their lives could be saved with proper treatment, surgeries, and after that, they were properly rehabilitated, economically rehabilitated. And these people, some people were carpenters, some were some skilled people. Even if they're not skilled people, they were taught skills, and as per their physical condition. Somebody also lose their hands and legs, eyesights, and other thing. But many people, they were treated properly, and they were able to perform certain financial activities. They were connected to those financial activities, and they were given wages in that leprosy home. MC, she started missionaries of charity. So one cannot work so sincerely with these leprosy patients who are thrown away from families and the communities, and you are a stranger to that person, you are not blood relative to those people, and still you are serving, cleaning the wounds, giving proper treatment, feeding on time. It is just because you have that kind of integrity in yourself. So I said, people going to the extreme areas where there is possibility of malaria, different other infections. So people work in slums, hygienic condition. In slums, it is quite difficult. It is quite difficult to stray over there. But People go there, work with the communities, work with children, women. This is done just because of the personal and professional integrity that social workers have. Just because of the personal integrity. Just because they believe in service. Just because they are empathetic to the people. They have strong empathy for the people. Just because they love, they care, they want to serve, and they are committed. All this cannot be done without this personal integrity and professional integrity. If you don't have strong moral values, you cannot perform in those difficult areas. So also difficult areas we can mention conflict zones. Always there is war kind situation, conflict zones, war kind situations. Always bomb blast, war, fight, war kind situations, and still professional social workers, doctors, different professionals who believe in the strong integrity, they work over there. They provide the services they have. The services they have. This is how integrity, personal integrity, professional integrity helps us to stand as committed social workers. Committed social workers. Is it clear, all of you?
Yeah, very clear.
Yes.
Loud and
Fine.
clear.
Okay. Is it so easy to practice whatever we are studying, or it is very difficult? What is your opinion, all of you? Whatever values we are studying, social justice, integrity, service, these are the values we are studying. Actually, it is quite difficult to practice all these things.
Yeah, it's practice. We can practice all those principles and values. Although there are some other determinants as someone in social work. For example, there is the stress and burnout that may also lead to people preaching those principles. So those things they need also to be tackled whenever you are doing social work. But otherwise, we can practice all those things.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
I've been repeatedly asking. There was nothing. Might be disconnected or like that. I was asking, is it very difficult to exhibit these values or to practice all these values, it is quite difficult, or we can do this?
Yeah, I responded to say those are practical, but I said
Yes.
there are some other determinants that may lead to a social worker not to abide to all that. For example, stress and burnout. Due to overwhelmed with the work, people develop burnout, and they may end up in breaching those principles.
Hmm.
Maybe also job unsatisfaction may also lead to a few individuals breaching those principles.
Yes. But this value system, we have to preach as well as we have to exhibit in our own behavior as professional social workers. Our integrity, we cannot preach. Integrity, we have to exhibit that I believe in this, I am following my integrity, I am listening the call of my own soul. I'm punctual, I'm dedicated, I'm not making false promises. These all things, and my behavior to the people is very gentle. My behavior to the people is very gentle. All these we cannot preach. We have to preach. Yes, good, very good. We have to preach. So also we have to exhibit in our own life so that people will trust us. People will trust us. Now, another important value is competence. What is this competence? What is this competence?
It's just an ability to show that you know what you are doing.
Yeah, competence refers to a potential ability and or a capability to function in a given situation. For example, you are a social worker, I am a social worker, she is a social worker, he is a social worker, everybody. And we are going to a community for organizing meeting. For example, one meeting we have to organize for children, for education, for women rights or anything. You are going to a community, I am going to a community, everybody is going. Is it the same that we all will be equally organizing the meeting, or there will be some differences? You are a social worker, professionally qualified social worker. I'm a professional qualified social worker. Somebody is a professionally qualified social worker, everybody. But once we are going to the community to organize some meeting, is the same kind of meeting we will organize, or it will depend on the competence of the social worker about the quality of the meeting? How do you think about it? The same kind of or different kind of? Mr. Biswak,
May you repeat?
I'm just asking, for example, five social workers are going to five villages to organize a community meeting. After meeting is over, you went to see how the meetings are conducted by five different social workers in five different villages. Will you find the same kind of same quality of meetings they have all five have organized?
No, definitely it's gonna be different because they
Why?
are uh, based on skills. It might not be the same.
Yes, it is the competence, the ability to organize meeting. Your ability to organize meeting is different than my ability to organize meeting. So according to the competence that we have, we will organize the meeting. It is meeting I mentioned. If as professional social workers, 5 social workers will be given to write development project proposals. Project proposals. Do you know what is project proposal? Do you know project proposal?
Yes, yes.
So all 5 people will be given 5 different project proposals to write proposals on, for example, on eradication of poverty in village. 5 people were given task to perform individually, and after 5 days, 7 days, they will submit 5 different proposals in computer on in mail, or they will present in PPT. Are the 5 proposals the same or different?
It will be different
Why there will be differences? Because
depending on the competence.
depending upon the competence. Again, what kind of competence? One is competence on understanding the issues. The same problem, eradication of poverty. You have understood poverty in a different way. I have understood poverty in a different way. If somebody else has understood poverty in a different way. So also, inter ensuring the poverty, the activities that you will outline in your project proposal. You have some different activities, I have some different activities. Depending upon my competence of looking at the things, I will write the proposal. So also, depending upon your competence, your knowledge, skill, and attitude, you will develop the proposal. Similarly, now it comes the using the internet and using the laptop and computers. That is called competence in technology. You have, for example, you have used beautiful photographs in your proposal, but I do not know how to take good photographs, click good photographs, or videography. I don't have, for example, I don't have a knowledge on beautiful photography. I'm not skillful person. So definitely my reports, whatever I will submit, will not have a good photographs. I'll not be able to document the things, or visual documentation and audio documentation. I'll be lacking. And somebody is very expert in audio visual documentation, definitely his or her proposal will be different, his or her reports will be different. So it is the ITC, or information technology, IT, information technology competence. So we are talking about that, what competence in the field of technology, or the technical competence. So depending upon, so when we try to understand this meaning of competence, it is potential ability that one has, capability or capacity to function in a given situation, capable of fulfilling his or her job responsibilities. All are given the same job responsibilities. For example, there will be 5 area coordinators in 5 different districts in the same project. The project is eradication of malaria. 5 different coordinators are placed in 5 different places. But in every monthly meeting, 6th month meeting, half yearly meeting, or evaluation, monitoring, monthly annual meetings, you will find that somebody has performed very nicely, somebody has not. It depends upon how that person is fulfilling his or her job responsibility. Somebody is very serious, he is putting all his or her efforts on time, going to the communities, organizing meeting, taking photographs, sending to the newspapers, collecting the newspapers, effectively documenting the things and producing in monthly meeting. And other persons is very casual, or does not know, or is not interested to function properly, so he or she will not have that visible impact that she or he has done. So it depends upon the capability of fulfilling his or her job responsibility. So also competence means at work to meet the performance expectations. So as a social workers, when you are deployed somewhere else, there is expectation from you. Every professional is not performing the same. Every professional is not meeting the expectation of the office or the project. It depends on the skills, attitude, and ability and competence of that personal, of that professional. And the report will be the fair example of or showing the differences, how somebody is meeting the expectations and how other people are not meeting the expectation. So also competence means it is also understood as hard skills. We're talking about skills. More or less, competence is one of the important values practiced in social work profession. Now let us try to understand types of competencies. How many types of competencies are there? How many types of competencies? One is core competencies. Another I have already mentioned is about technical competencies. Next is behavioral competencies. Next is the management competencies, like that. Can anybody give example of core competencies? Core competencies. Can anyone give example of core competencies?
Uh, just a try, like demonstrating ethical and professional behavior as a core competence.
Hmm. Can anybody give example from development professions, referring to the development professions, core competence? One example I would like to give. There will be 5 organizations. Each organization is working in different issues like child labor issues, child right issues, women right issues, in the field of welfare of PWD, in the field of environment, in the field of water and sanitation, like that. For example, there will be 5 organizations in your area working all these sectors, and somebody calls you, please suggest one organization who is working on child right issues. Are you going to give the phone numbers of all 5 organizations or the most competent organization?
I think you give the number of the person who is working in the child care organization area.
For example, all these 5 are working in child areas. Are you going to give the all 5 name, or you will be selecting whose core area is child development? Definitely you will be selecting the one whose core area
Yeah, I
is
think as a social worker, you would.
huh. So core areas, core competencies means very skillful in particular. For example, in child welfare, that is the core competence area of that organization. Similarly, of that professional social worker, you as professional social worker, you might be good in report writing, you might be good on proposal writing, you might be good in writing development articles in newspapers, you might be good in for example in photograph and documenting the things, you may be good at organizing the community meetings. But core competency will be, for example, photography. This is the core competency. Are you clear, everybody? This is called core competency. So certain NGOs are working and having core competency in some particular areas. Technical competencies. It's not very difficult. What is this technical competency? What is this technical competency? Not so difficult.
Maybe I try. Uh, an example, it's something someone who is able to demonstrate capability for a sort of techniques in terms of maybe implementation. For example, if you are doing a project in uh, HIV and AIDS, and you need to be familiar with the policies, the guidelines uh, for HIV and AIDS. It's all about poverty alleviation. You need also to be familiar in those guidelines and policies, so that you should be able to.
Sorry. Hello. Hello. Audible?
Yes,
Yes,
you're
yes.
Yes,
audible.
So
now audible.
technical competencies means if some organization is appointing you in communication post as communication officer, so definitely that organization will see whether you are competent in using internet. Are you competent enough to write emails? Are you competent enough to respond the emails? Are you competent enough to prepare IEC materials, information, education, and communication materials, IEC materials like leaflets, posters, pamphlets, like that? Are you competent? Are you competent to design digital media campaign stuff, materials? Are you well versed with digital campaigns like using Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or now it is X, LinkedIn? And currently, if you believe, people are more observing us in digital media than us in person, isn't it?
Yes.
If they want to give you job, they follow your digital pages because that is the character of ours being exhibited in our digital pages, in our, if we have Facebook, Insta, Twitter or X, in LinkedIn. Even jobs are being advertised nowadays in digital platforms. So technical competencies are nowadays very important competency, one of the important competencies for all of us as professionals. So also the growth of the organization, the particular organization, the growth and development of that particular organization depends on the skills, technical skills the organization has. There might be different organizations, there might be some organization who is very effectively working in communities, very nicely working, but is not nicely documenting the things. Will that organization get sufficient funds? Am I clear with my question? I'm telling, if some organization, any organization, is very good at working with the people, immensely contributing for the growth and development of the society, very generously working with the people, but that organization is not documenting the things, is not keeping good documents, is not sharing in internets and digital platform, is not keeping good records, is not able to share it properly to the right forums, will that organization get sufficient funds? Or
No
No.
proper documentation, no,
No, no,
no,
no,
it
no, it
can't.
won't. It won't.
no. So I mentioned the organizations who those which are competent enough technically will be connected to more opportunities, more financial opportunities, more exposure, more people will approach him or her or to that organization. And the organization which is not able to connect digitally in today's society, in contemporary time, it becomes a really difficult path for those organizations to survive, to sustain. They get one two project, and slowly new organization will emerge, and these organizations, if they are not in the right pace, not competing properly, will be excluded, will suffer from financial needs. So the organizations as well as the professionals, if the professionals working in those organizations are technically competent, that means the organization is technically competent. Otherwise, that organization cannot be technically competent. So this is what we understand technical competencies. Competencies. Behavioral competencies are actually observable and measurable behavior, knowledge, skill, abilities, and other characteristics that contribute to individual success in organization. I have mentioned that everybody is having different kind of competence, and whatever competence you have, that will be reflected in your work, in your behavior. For example, in your office, you are managing the communication part. Gradually people will know what exactly competency you have, because that will be beautifully reflected in your behavior, in your behavior. Slowly people will come to know about it. Our knowledge, our skills, and our abilities ultimately becomes our behave, and that is what we understand behavioral competencies. So also the management competencies. Can anybody give example of management competencies? Management competencies,
Yes.
please, anyone?
Yeah, for example, maybe the way you manage your teams in terms of problem solving, communication skills.
Hmm. Management competencies. Uh, do you find the same kind of management everywhere? In some organization you have worked for 2 years, now you jump to another organization, you worked over there for around 3 years, you went to another organization to work for, you work for 5 years or 1 year, now you have experiences in 3 organizations. Have you found the similar kind of management in all 3 organizations, or different?
No, different.
Yes,
Different
correctly.
management. Some management, in some organization, management is very pro people. In some organization, management is not looking after the interest of the people. In some organization, there is effective communication. Anything, any small thing happens is properly communicated to all. That is the management skills. In some organization you are working, you are always complaining that, oh, this happened, I could not know, that happened, I could not know, that happened without my knowledge. You make complaints. But in some other organization, anything is going to happen will be communicated immediately to all. In some organizations, they effectively manage human resources. They provide salary, they provide leaves, they provide all other facilities, while in some organizations they will not be taking care of the human resources effectively. Salary is not released on time, leaves are not given to the professionals, even they are not able to work soundly with the community, with the people. They are not able to report to the donor agencies on time. They are not, for example, they are not good at connecting to the government agencies, or some organization will be very good to connect with the government machineries. It depends on, it depends on the management competencies. So the good organizations always take care of capacity building of the professionals. It is the professionals whose identity will ultimately become the identity of the organization and the management. If the management is skilled enough, has understood it very nicely, so ultimately it will take care. It will invest in developing the leadership of the professionals. For example, some organization is investing on capacity building of the personals or the staff members, sending them for exposure visits, organizing refresh courses, organizing seminars and workshops. And another organization is not investing in capacity building of the staff members, not sending them for any exposure visit, not organizing any seminar and workshop, not discussing. Nothing is happening. Will you find differences between those two organizations?
Yes.
What differences you will find?
The one that invests in the human capital will do more than the one which is not.
So we have to invest on different, again, skills and competencies. If you find some personnel who is very good or very interested, may not be so much good, but very interested in, for example, in digital media campaigns, the management is looking, oh, this person is very good at taking photographs, taking videos, making reels and posting in our digital platforms. Now management will decide, we will send this person for a orientation program or some skill development program. He will be given 1 month of training or 1 week of training, how to take good photographs, how to make good videos, how to collage the things, how to upload the things. Little training the person will be provided. What will happen to this person? What will happen?
The person will become more competent.
Will become more competent, and once this person becomes more competent, the same will be reflected. Now the digital page of that organization, the Instagram, the Twitter or X, the LinkedIn, the Facebook, the website will be activated. So this is what the managerial, actually management competencies. So some management, they are not able to even settle the small conflicts arising among people. They're not able to manage. Some management people are not able to manage finance properly. They get the financial support of, for example, 1 crore rupees or $5,000, and at the end of the month, when the account person comes for audit, they are not in a position to explain the things about their expenditures, or they have not even spent money. Bulk of unspent money is with the management. Some organization they spend money but they don't have any papers where they have spent it. Lack of managerial skills, management competencies. So management competency for grooming the personals, management competency to resolve the conflicts, management competency to deal with the accounts, managing the day-to-day affairs, staffing, and all these things. Now, the last one about competence, we'll discuss what are the factors determining competence. Can anybody guess what are the factors that determine your competence? Any guess?
Knowledge and experience.
Okay, knowledge of work and technical knowledge. You just add in technology because now the time is technical time. Now, once we are talking about knowledge, we just add another knowledge, technical knowledge. Very rightly you have pointed out. Any other guess? What are the factors that determine our competence? Any other? Initiative, one can be initiative and creativity, isn't it? Once you take initiatives, once you start something, then only you will be skillful, then only your competence will grow. Unless and until you work, you exhibit the things, how can you know that whether you are competent enough or not? You yourself cannot know. And once you start doing things, some point you will be very good at doing the things, in some point you struggle. Now you point out and identify this is the place I am not able to perform nicely, then you will work on this. You will read the articles, you will ask to many experts, then you will develop competence. Without initiatives it is not theoretical, no. Competence is practical. Theoretical understanding but practical actions is actually your competence. And your creativity. For example, you are a doctor, I am a doctor, he is a doctor, she is a doctor, so also I'm a social worker, you are a social worker, they are social workers. But everybody is not equally creative. Everybody is not equally creative. I gave you example before few minutes. Monthly meeting reports are asked by all the professionals by using the same format. The same format is given to the all professionals to write their monthly reports. Will we find the similar kind of or the same kind of monthly report presented by all the professionals?
No,
No,
it will be different.
How will be different? Depending upon
Yeah,
the creativity. Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, you might find that in the report others have attached the pictures showing the work that has been done. Whilst on the other hand, you find other people have just written the format without maybe putting those things. So going forward, you might find that this person that has showcased the skills of showing the people what really work was done on the ground will be competent.
Yes, depending upon the creativity. So also another important things are cooperation and teamwork, quality of work, commitment to safety. This commitment to safety is very important thing. Many times we are motivated and we want to undertake the things without understanding the safety measures. I have mentioned many things now. So in different places, difficult terrains, social workers are performing, but we have to take our safety measures, safety of our lives as well as safety of people. We have to be very much careful. So that is also required, important factor that determine our competence. So also the cooperation and teamwork. You are very good at working with the team, and I may not be very good in working with the team. So if I get the team support, because you are me, everybody, we are into some development projects, and this development project can it be done by a single person or it will be done by a group of people in a team. Professional social service is always a team effort. Professional social work needs cooperation from many people. It's not that you can single-handedly do the things or make the thing done. No, not at all. Rather, you have to take the cooperations of all and you have to also cooperate others. You are a team. You are a team, not an individual player. As in a cricket field or any football match, it's a team performing or the single person is performing as in the football match or cricket match. Is the team or is the one person? The team is performing. The team is performing. So as professional social worker, we support each other as well as we seek support. We take support. Without support, we cannot. And this support again, the support of diversity, support diversities, because in a team we are different kind of people from different gender, people from different age group. Somebody is very young man, woman, somebody is very senior guy, somebody is middle, somebody is opposite to your sex. You are man and she is woman. You are a woman and he is a man, or even transgender. Some will be educated, highly educated, technically skilled. Some may not. So some may not be of that much of technically sound. And in your team, people will be from different religion, different color. We have to take support from this diversity everywhere in your own country, in any other country, in your own village, in some other village. What we see in a team people of different color and taste. and we have to respect each one of them. So also we win. And it depends. Another is problem solving skill, flexibility, staff development, responsiveness to request for service, communication, core the quality of work. All these are the important, very important factors that determine our competency or our competence. This is how we try to understand competence as one of the important or one of the important values in social work profession. Thank you all.
Thank you to Doc. Okay, I think the class is over. He's gone.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Yeah, okay, all right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Yena time funga. Yena time funga masebe.
Banyame la tete. Mapa, aje. You always not time roll, you got the call. Maybe the office say hold up for your way over. That's one no meeting, no meeting. Then you have 5 for people come up back over. Samuel, okay, we are going home. You can, I mean, if you want to continue, you continue.